In a digital age dominated by viral heroism and curated perceptions, it's easy to get swept away by the image rather than the reality. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the 34-year-old soldier turned head of state of Burkina Faso, has become a poster boy for African resistance on social media. Platforms like TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Instagram are flooded with praise for his anti-imperialist stance, leonizing him as the next Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's legendary revolutionary leader. But the danger with deifying modern leaders is this: when the spotlight is too bright, it hides the shadows. This video isn't about discrediting for its own sake. It's about peeling back the layers of public perception and viral narrative to reveal a more nuanced, more uncomfortable, and yes, more factual account of who Ibrahim Traoré really is, and what's happening in Burkina Faso under his rule. Let's walk through 10 deeply unsettling facts, based on verifiable evidence and credible reports, that may forever change how you see the man who's being celebrated as Africa's new hope. Fact number 1. He rose to power through a coup, and it wasn't his first attempt. On September 30, 2022, Traoré seized power in a military coup, ousting interim President Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba. But what many don't realize is that this wasn't a clean handover, it was his second coup attempt in less than a year. The first time he failed. What changed? Internal military rivalries. Burkina Faso's elite Cobra Special Forces unit, of which Traoré was a member, had become increasingly disillusioned with Damiba's perceived failure to address the jihadist crisis. Traoré capitalized on this sentiment, leveraging internal dissatisfaction and his own charisma to stage the takeover. And yet, this wasn't an uprising of the people. It was a power reshuffle among military elites. The people of Burkina Faso had no say, no vote, no warning. Fact number 2. The anti-France posturing is more strategy than substance. Traoré's rhetoric against France has earned him admiration across Africa. In early 2023, he demanded the withdrawal of French troops and the closure of France's military base. Social media lit up with applause. Finally, someone standing up to the former colonial power. But few know what happened next. In a televised address, Traoré clarified, "The departure of the French army does not mean that France is not an ally." Behind closed doors, sources inside Burkina Faso's foreign ministry suggest that diplomatic communications with France never fully ceased. Humanitarian, economic, and intelligence links remain active. In essence, the breakup with France may have been more of a public performance than a policy shift. Fact number 3. He swapped French troops for Russian mercenaries. While French soldiers exited, Russian private military contractors, specifically Brigade Bear, a lesser-known group believed to be affiliated with the infamous Wagner Group, entered. Several reports from African security analysts and leaked military communications confirm that Russian advisors now work directly with Burkinabe security forces, training personnel, conducting joint operations and even offering protection to government officials. This isn't a clean-cut transfer of power from one empire to none, it's a recalibration of influence. Burkina Faso didn't gain independence, it traded alliances. And with Russian PMCs operating outside any formal legal framework, accountability for their actions is virtually non-existent. Fact number 4. Traoré's regime has been linked to war crimes. This fact doesn't make headlines. And there's a reason for that. In February 2024, Human Rights Watch released a chilling report documenting the execution of at least 223 civilians, including 56 children, in the Yatenga province. Witnesses claim government troops were responsible, retaliating against villages suspected of harboring jihadists. Traoré's administration initially denied involvement. But photographic evidence, satellite imagery, and survivor testimonies told a different story. The massacre may constitute crimes against humanity under international law. And yet, no military personnel have been publicly held accountable. No trials. No resignations. Just silence, and continued glorification. Fact number 5. A climate of paranoia and censorship is growing. Under Traoré's rule, press freedom in Burkina Faso has dramatically declined. According to Reporters Without Borders, multiple journalists were detained in 2023 and 2024 for inciting unrest after publishing stories critical of the junta. The government has also increased its control of national television and radio. News anchors deliver military-friendly stories. Independent media are pressured into self-censorship. In one notable case, investigative journalist Newton Ahmed Berry was banned from airwaves for criticizing Traore's alliances with Russian entities. Meanwhile, pro-Traore influencers dominate social media, some of them reportedly financed by state-linked organizations. The government isn't just managing perception, it's manufacturing it. Fact number 6. Traore is consolidating power through a cult of personality. Critics often point out that Traore is walking in Thomas Sankara's footsteps. But there's a dangerous difference. While Sankara promoted collective leadership, Traore is building a cult of personality. In 2024, his image appeared on newly issued coins. Murals of his face now decorate public buildings. Schoolchildren are taught songs praising his bravery. The comparison to past authoritarian regimes isn't hard to make. This elevation of a leader to messianic status may serve national unity in the short term, but it crushes dissent and critical thinking in the long run. Fact number 7. He's cracking down on fellow soldiers, violently. Public unity within the armed forces is a myth. In September 2023, Traore's regime announced it had foiled a coup attempt. But leaked documents and regional intelligence suggest the so-called plot may have been a purge. Military insiders say the accused were not plotting a coup, they were questioning Traore's growing reliance on foreign mercenaries and his centralization of power. Several were detained without trial. A few disappeared altogether. Burkina Faso's military is becoming a fractured force, with fear and suspicion replacing the esprit de corps that once held it together. Fact number 8. His economic policies are shrouded in secrecy. Burkina Faso is one of the world's poorest countries, yet it holds vast gold reserves. Under Traore's government, the management of these reserves has become suspiciously opaque. U.S. General Michael Langley publicly accused Traore in 2024 of misusing the country's gold to finance Russian paramilitary operations. While Traore denied the claims, no detailed audit of the country's gold exports has been released since he took power. Civil society groups demanding transparency have been met with silence, or worse, threats. Where is the gold going? Who benefits? These are questions Traore doesn't seem keen to answer. Fact number 9. A single man is rewriting Burkina Faso's institutions. In early 2024, Traore dissolved multiple oversight committees originally formed to ensure civilian input during the transition process. He claimed this was to accelerate reforms. What followed was a rapid expansion of executive power. New decrees allowed the president to appoint judges, approve military budgets without parliamentary oversight, and delay elections indefinitely under the guise of national security. In essence, Traore has become a self-appointed monarch under military robes. Fact number 10. He's weaponizing African nationalism. Yes, Traore speaks to a genuine desire for African autonomy. Yes, his anti-colonial speeches stir something real in people. But they also serve a calculated political purpose. By blaming all problems, security, poverty, unrest, on France or foreign sabotage, he avoids accountability. The narrative becomes, if you criticize me, you are pro-colonialism. This binary choice, Traore or imperialism, silences legitimate debate. It reduces complex national issues to loyalty tests. And as this narrative spreads across Africa, it sets a precedent for other military leaders who seek to hijack nationalist movements for personal power. In conclusion, we'll have to ask, is this a different kind of dictatorship? The glorified image of Ibrahim Traoré on social media, defender of Africa, slayer of neocolonialism, people's captain, is appealing. But it is also incomplete and in many ways misleading. This video isn't to say that Traoré is evil, or that his intentions were never noble. But intentions don't equal outcomes. And behind every viral hero is often a quieter, darker truth. In less than 3 years, Traore has 1. Risen to power through undemocratic means. 2. Aligned with opaque and potentially abusive foreign military actors. 3. Been linked to mass civilian deaths. 4. Suppressed the media and critical voices. 5. Concentrated power while delaying democratic transition. 6. Played both sides of the foreign diplomacy game. And 7. Crafted a one-man narrative to overshadow institutional accountability. We must ask, is this what true liberation looks like? Or is it a carefully staged performance, designed for virality but hollow at its core? The hero worship may continue, but history, and truth, has a way of catching up. It's time we start asking harder questions. Not just of Traore, but of ourselves. Are we glorifying the image? Or confronting the facts?